studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. Whether markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another live stream. We are back in the markets for another day, another busy day, as we've just gotten over one of the busiest days of the week. Yesterday, we had the Fed rate statement, as well as, of course, the following meeting minutes or meeting that we had with Jerome Powell, both of which very much impacted the markets. And overnight, we had a lot of stuff that we need to catch up on. A big one, of course, is the dollar. The dollar rebounded a little bit, but I really want to focus today on the metals market because if you take a look, for example, at gold, I mean, you've got an impressive breakout here to the downside. It's hard to deny in terms of where the bulls are at. I mean, I was looking at these levels to be, a strong area of support. They were for a while, but it does seem like sellers are strong and pushing us through the lows right now. So we are here, of course, in anticipation for another round of news events here this morning, which, of course, we'll have to watch very closely. But here's the thing. This breakout to the downside around 1940 is a big deal for gold bulls and for bears. For bulls, it's not a great, right? Because this breakout signifies what I think to be, a very, very strong area for the bulls that is no longer strong, right? In fact, now it's possibly arguably, a stronghold for the sellers. So let's drop it down to the 1 hour chart. You'll see what I'm saying just a little bit better. So you can see that price action had made a significant bounce, but then the scary part here for bulls is that we put in the devastating lower high. We're able to break back down underneath, back down to support. But then the key thing here is that we broke and retested and continued. I mean, this from a price action standpoint is looking very bearish for gold. So today, in terms of news numbers, let me make sure I get this right for us. We have something that just came out. We had, of course, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong week. Give me 1 second. We'll go back to, we just want today. So let's go to today. We just had the ECB. In fact, we'll just go to today. So core retail sales is what's coming up, but we did have, in fact, the rate hike as expected out of Europe. So let's go take a quick look at the euro and see how things are reacting. And you can see there's some volatility here. Euro 1 hour chart shooting back and forth. We saw last hour was down. Now it's kind of recovering. Not a whole lot of movement here. And this is because, as we talk about with news events, this is what was kind of expected. They rate hiked, but this is exactly what everybody thought was going to happen. So sometimes people are very confused by news events. They say, why the heck is, the euro not going higher or something like that, or going lower. Well, remember, news is only as impactful as it is surprising. If the news isn't incredibly as expected, like this for the ECB, it still can cause some volatility to pick up as investors who may have thought otherwise are sort of, coming to realization with what the numbers solidly were. Like, for example, maybe some people were thinking they would go up by 50 basis points, or maybe some people thought there was that possibility of a hold at 3.75, which is very unlikely, as the ECB has made it clear to the contrary. But the point is, news is only as impactful as the unexpected level to it. We've got a lot of stuff. Trayvon says, can you check Swiss yen? I'm not trading Swiss yen. I'll take a quick look at just what's going on with it. I know Frank is trading it long. He's long and riding this one inside of the group. Let me see. Let's go spy on Frank real quick on the Discord. I'll pull this up and see where he's at with his trade. I think he actually put out an update this morning. Let's see. So Swiss yen. Yep. So Swiss yen, he entered it 2 days ago. My goodness. Frank's got a runner there. Great trade there for him. Congrats to Frank. He bought Swiss yen 2 days ago at 154.817. Wow, he actually Did I read that right? 154. Yeah, Frank caught a lot of this move. He's in from back in this area. So congrats to Frank. He shared that trade alert inside of the group. I am in no trades currently, for those of you guys who are wondering. Update on this, I got trailed out. Profits were taken yesterday. Just into the news, we had some volatility both directions, and I'm all out of my S&P 500 trade. I took profits on that one, and I was able to lock in about 5R, I think, so 5 times my initial risk, which was for me a phenomenal trade. I do want to be transparent. Not all of my trades are that good. I wish they were. It would be an incredibly easy job. I will say I do have a position on silver that is going against me at this point. So what I've done here, and I've shared this inside of the group, is I sold puts on silver. So what that means is, if you are unfamiliar, I essentially I sold contracts to allow someone else to buy puts on silver. It's kind of a convoluted thing, and I'm not going to be able to explain it all in a quick live stream like this. If you would like to check that out, please feel free to search it up on your own. I sold puts is what I did on silver. It is a way to essentially offer the right to someone else to buy puts, and you collect premium just for writing the options. So I am in that case feeling not so great about that position, but I'm not too worried about it. Selling puts, if you're not familiar, again, it allows you to buy things. You essentially say, if somebody else wants to buy a put down at this area, let's say somebody else wants to buy a $23 strike price put, meaning they want to bet that things are going to come down here in, let's say, a month or so. They could do that, right? Some of you guys are familiar with binary options. What I'm talking about is stock options. It's very different. It's very much more, in the United States, it's a regulated thing. We're not allowed to do binary options, those very, very leveraged high risk stuff. I'm talking about just, you can be risky with options, obviously, but I'm talking about stock market, stock brokerage options. So anyways, it allows somebody else to buy puts. You sell it to them. You basically insure the trade, meaning you'll buy the shares if necessary, if they decide to essentially assign those shares. It's complicated stuff for me to try and explain here in a quick video or a quick live stream. So feel free to tune into that on your own time. Anyways, let's talk a little about the euro. Again, following this ECB rate hike, we're seeing the euro stay strong. And, I've been vocal about the euro. I think that we have more upside on this one. If we take a look at the Smart Money Tracker page, we've talked about this a lot. The Smart Money Tracker has the euro still as a very heavy long currency, according to institutional traders. So big money is very much long euro. We got 75% of positions, futures contracts tracked here on the COT data, showing long bias from institutional money. So big money, smart money is long euro. Now, I've gotten some comments recently on my channel, people saying, well, Nick, COT said it was long and then the market went down. Please remember, guys, that just because you have COT data or you have any indicator for that measure, there's no holy grail system that's going to always tell you exactly what to do. However, with confluence between several different pieces of key data, like we try to do with the EDGEFINDER, we can make better informed decisions, not guarantees, not certainties. Just because, big money is short the yen or long the euro or long gold, for example. Many traders have been very confused recently by the gold market. Anybody confused by the gold market? Type yes in the chat if you are confused recently by the gold market's movements. And I'll do my best to explain quickly. So a lot of people are confused because the gold market is going down like crazy, right? A lot of people who are watching gold, and by the way, guys, we do have 3 minutes here to go. Let me not forget that. A lot of people typing yes. Thank you guys for that feedback. Here's the thing for you. A lot of people confused by gold going down. Well, and a lot of people saying, Nick, the COT data is showing institutional money is so long. Why is gold going down? You have to remember, guys, that not only can hedge funds sometimes be just wrong, they can also be a lot more patient than retail traders. Retail traders are trading the 15-minute chart and the 5-minute chart. Institutional traders are not always doing that. Some may be doing that. I'm not going to say they never do that, but of course, institutional traders have bigger pocketbooks to fill. They have to, if they're trading on behalf of their clients, they have to move millions and billions and possibly trillions of dollars around. If they want to pick up a long position on gold, they're not doing it on the 5-minute chart. They're building a position, they're offsetting it, they're hedging their position, whatever they're doing. It takes some time and they have big orders to fill. So yes, institutional money is long, but the gold market's going down. That's confusing, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe longer term, they think that the gold market will find its bearings and make a move back up. This is why, and I have a minute and a half here, I'm keeping an eye on the clock. This is why, guys, when we talk institutional money, just because institutional money is long on something does not mean I'm going to go out and just blind buy it. I'm going to look for my technical strategies. I am a retail trader. I use, different set of tools than perhaps a institutional trader would, right? I'm not trying to manage $5 billion and I have to move it all in and out of the market strategically. I'm looking to be more nimble. I'm a retail trader, and that's our advantage, I think, as a retail trader, is you can move in and out of positions very liquid, very quickly. So I'm looking for price action to show me bullishness before I look to get bullish myself. Guys, we have 1 minute to go here before we have we have retail sales numbers coming out. Core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing, market set to move here in 50 seconds. Let me make sure to get set up with this screen here for you so that we can keep an eye. We'll keep gold up on the window. We're going to be talking gold a lot today. Gold and silver on my radar. S&P 500 also going to, of course, be in focus. We're going to pull up the euro here, and we've got 30 seconds. Euro strength is prevalent right now. We'll see if that's able to hold its own here as we get closer. We'll put dollar bottom right. So we got 15-minute charts all the way around, guys. And we are coming in on core retail sales. And then, of course, Empire State Manufacturing. We got several numbers. We'll be digesting and setting up trades here as we go on. Breaking news. All right, we got 5 seconds to go. Let's see if we get some volatility here this morning. Bit of volatility coming in here. Dollar actually gapped slightly higher on this particular brokerage. You could see gold shot down a little bit. And let's see if we can get the numbers. I don't want to miss this. Sometimes the numbers are just slightly delayed. There we go. Gold is making a bit of a move. Euro shooting up just a bit here, continuing its 15-minute charge higher after the, refinancing rate out of Europe. Rate hike happened there. Euro looking really strong, rallying like 45 pips here, 40 pips or so this morning here just from this candle. Look at that. Dollar coming down. S&P finding a bottom here, it seems, for the lower time frames right now. Gold back up to 1929, tested 1930 just briefly. Euro dollar shooting up, breaking through these highs. Let's see if we have some numbers. Numbers are in. Here we go. Let's take a quick look here in terms of unemployment claims. First of all, jobs numbers important here in the U.S. We saw unemployment tick up. This is, of course, weak for the dollar and possibly what the Fed wants to see more of. Retail sales came out hotter than expected, so a little bit of conflicting U.S. data there. One strong, one weak. Empire State Manufacturing showed a lot of strength here. That's a lot of strength compared to the minus 15. We got 6.6, and core retail sales came out as expected yet again. An as expected number for core retail sales, and gold shooting up here a little bit. The reaction initially is dollar weakness, and we're seeing that kind of play out. You can see dollar breaking through this low of this morning. Day traders watching dollar, you'll notice that you just had a break through the lows. So let's pull up dollar here just for context. Yep, there goes dollar breaking through the lows. Really big push here. Again, it's very early. We just had the numbers come out a minute and 50 seconds ago. So you have to watch these things with a grain of salt. A lot of times with news, you get a spike one way and a spike the other. I find it very telling if news is able to spike one way and hold its gains on a close. I talk about that very often in the streams here. So we're watching how these candles go. Now, of course, we could pull up the hourly chart. You can see a break underneath the lows and challenging this sort of concept of a higher low on the dollar index this morning. Dollar weakness, pretty strong. Dollar weakness, pretty weak, I guess, coming down. We'll take a look at some counters to the dollar. We've got pound USD here, making a bit of a push. You've got dollar yen probably giving back some gains. Yep, dollar yen pulling back. Dollar is actually an interesting pair, in my opinion. You get pullbacks here. It might be interesting to watch some of those. I do not have any trades. Let's go spy on Frank Swiss yen if that had any movement. It sure did. Frank is still in Swiss yen. Maybe we'll have to get back with him tomorrow on that. So he's in Swiss yen. My silver trade not going too hot. Let's see if we can find let's see if we can talk about this Swiss yen idea Frank's got. So Frank is Swiss yen update. He picked it up 2 days ago, still trailing stops, and very well done. Again, for those of you guys who are just tuning into the stream, yesterday I ended up closing out of my S&P 500 trade. I was able to make a really nice profit on that one. I think it came out to about 5R, which it's not common for me to get that many R on a trade. It's really nice when it does, though. So what happened for me, for those of you guys who are regular stream viewers or you watch the show, in case you missed the exit on that trade, I entered over here and I held on to that. It kept rallying over and over and over. It was beautiful. This candle ended up stopping me out. So market structure broke here. Hey, Dre, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. Boom, in the chat. Hey, Nick, I caught EU retest at 1.07906. Dre, thank you for the $2 donation. The stream appreciates it in general. All of us here at A1 Trading, thank you to you. Appreciate you. And yeah, we'll take a look at EU in just a moment. So I ended up getting, so my stop had been trailed just below this market structure low. So I ended up getting stopped out here. Price shot down, came back initially, but then sort of has been bleeding out since then, since the Fed meeting yesterday. So yeah, S&P, am I looking to get back in? Possibly, but I'll have to take a look at this later. Possibly a retest of this structure zone again. I liked the reaction that we got off this area, so I may get a second attempt. If I take that trade, you guys will see it inside Discord. Like I said, Frank is trading Swiss yen. He's got a runner on that one, which is good for him. He's got Swiss yen. I think him and I have both been a little bit frustrated by gold. Gold has been coming down, but seems to be staying underneath this 1940 level. So that's kind of, I mean, not necessarily bearish for gold. Like, I'm not saying I think it's just going to plummet lower, but it definitely has been a bearish victory, I would say, here for gold recently. A failure to make higher highs and a break underneath structure. Where can this thing go? I don't know. I mean, we had news yesterday from the Fed that was pretty hawkish, right? They signaled the idea of further rate hikes coming into the end of this year, and that rate cuts are pretty much ruled out entirely. So market didn't like that, right? Gold market especially did not like that. S&P, NASDAQ, those markets, of course, did not like that. Despite that, though, the NASDAQ has been so strong, and I'm not necessarily bearish on this thing either, right? We're seeing such strong economic numbers. We're seeing companies still doing quite well. There has not been an earnings recession. I'm still bullish equities. I'm looking to buy pullbacks. And so I'm looking for this 14,800. Possibly we'll take a closer look at that. I also like the S&P a little bit more, if I'm being honest. So watching the S&P, looking for pullbacks to see if I can capture some volatility there. Dre mentioned Euro USD, said I caught EU at 1.079, 1.079. So you're talking right around here. So you pull back into this area. Beautiful, Dre. You're probably loving today. That's an awesome trade for you. Even put in a nice higher low, solidifying. And now question will be, we're looking at the 4-hour chart, but let's drop it down to a 1 hour. Can the 1 hour clear this previous high, right? You had resistance here. Can this level clear it? Meaning close above it. That would, I would say, be a very, very nice sign of strength for Euro bulls. So yeah. What type of trader am I again? I swing trade mostly. I'm definitely not a scalper. I'm going to give you my hot take on scalping. I think it's probably, actually, I don't think a lot of people disagree. Scalping is probably one of the hardest ways to make money, because every time you enter and exit a trade, as a swing trader, your spread relative to the trade is very tiny. When you're scalping, your spread is huge relative to the trade's P&L. What I mean by that is when you take trades on your broker, the broker takes a spread, right? Well, if you're trading for like 6 pips, that spread of 2 pips is huge, or 1 pip is huge. Whereas if you're trading for, 160 pips, that 2 pips is nothing. So the cost of your trades goes up tremendously when you try and scalp. It is a lot more cost effective to swing trade, at least in my experience. And that's part of the reason why I do swing trade. I also swing trade because I prefer to, I prefer slower moving charts, and I like to look at fundamentals. So fundamentals are not necessarily useless to day traders. Day traders sometimes think, oh, I don't need fundamentals. You definitely still could benefit from understanding what's going on in the day trading charts based on what's happening fundamentally in the world. Like, for example, if they announce a sudden rate hike, that's a massive catalyst. And if you understand how powerful that is, it could tell you, hey, there's a stronger probability that the markets are going to continue in the direction they're going due to how impactful this news really is, how unexpected this news is. I mean, one of the things that I look for as a trader is unexpected news, like sudden jolts, sudden unexpected outcomes, because sometimes those create some of the absolute best new trends or new directional moves in the market. So that's just a little bit of thing there. Euro USD, yeah, looking really strong here this morning. You've got some resistance that has been broken out. I would watch, guys, if you're watching EU, watch for closes outside. That would be signs of strength. And again, dollar weakness here coming in pretty strong, pretty heavy. Same thing for hourly chart traders. Watch for this hourly close. I like the hourly chart a lot. It's mostly where I execute. This and the 4-hour chart are kind of my bread and butter that I've used for many years. So Nick, can you trade Bitcoin or check Bitcoin? Let's talk about a losing trade for me. I am down on my Bitcoin trade. I've been building a position on Bitcoin and I am down. Let's show it. Let's show a losing trade. Bitcoin is one that I'm in. So I have, a willingness to build to this position, I will say. I haven't had any opportunity yet to build a second trade to this, but I have half a Bitcoin here with the willingness of building a bigger position on Bitcoin. I'm not a, super bull or anything on crypto. I'm not but I do think it's a nice thing to have in a portfolio. And you can see though that I'm down on my position. This is what initially started as a kind of a position trade for me that was going to be shorter term. I'm still looking to build to this. This is not your traditional sort of momentum trading strategy that I use in a lot of my trading. This is more of a position building and longer term trading. So when it comes to Bitcoin, I am still, longer term bull. I think that there's upside. I think the risk to reward is good. That's my take on it. But again, still very risky. When you talk Bitcoin, I even though I think that it has a place in the future, I'm not ignorant enough to say, it can't possibly go to zero. It could go to zero. And so for me, it's a longer term speculative play that is admittedly speculative, right? It's not investing. It's not quite, investing is, buying, in my opinion, it's buying Coca-Cola and building a position, knowing that company is almost certainly going to be in the future in 10 years from now, right? That's investing. So it's different than Bitcoin, which I think is a highly speculative play. But I do think that it has place in the future. We'll see if I'm right? Only time can tell. I could never show a losing trade. Trayvon, don't you even worry about it. I have winning trades. I have losing trades. And I think there's strength in just appreciating when you're losing a trade. If you can talk about it, it means that it's, you're doing your rules correctly, right? If it's painful for you to even admit something's not right? Is it normal to lose for a week straight? Absolutely. I have losing weeks all the time, right? You also have great winning weeks. I mean, this week for me was really, really good. I picked up the S&P and made quite a bit of risk reward there, right? So I picked it up in this candle last Friday, held it into Friday's close, and it just rallied all week, just recently stopping me out for my trailing stop. So that's where I'm at with the S&P 500. For those of you guys who are also watching it, I am looking to potentially re-enter. And if I do take that trade, again, like I said, not all of my trades are winners, and I don't want to come across that way. That's not what I'm here to do. However, if you would like to trade with me, here's how you can join our Discord group for 55% off. Not just half off, but you get an extra 5% if you follow the instructions I'm about to tell you. So we have a Discord community where you can see all of the trades being taken by myself and by Frank. Many of you guys know Frank if you watch the live streams every day. Frank is on here most days. He won't be joining us today. We have Miko and Marco joining us in a few moments. But we do, however, have trades that we're sharing. And these are trades on real brokerage accounts, no nonsense, no demo accounts, no flexing on you guys with fake profits, nothing like that. We trade our own money. We trade seriously. We have been doing this for a number of years together. And if you guys would like to see the trade alerts being shared, again, I can't promise you that we're going to be making money every single day or any sort of nonsense like that. But if you do like my trading style, if you like the community that we built on YouTube, why not join us on the Discord channel, especially when it is 55% off. So the instructions to get 55% off are message us right now using this link. So when you click on that link, what it will do, it will start a chat log with a real person, one of my staff members who are in office right now. We have a couple people who help out with memberships. We have support reps here at A1 Trading. So if you would like to join us, click that link. And if you want the 50, it says 50% off, but if you message us right now, you get 55% by messaging one of our support reps here at a1trading.com. So click this link, it's in the chat. Click 50% off VIP signals, which is ending soon, and just message us, and someone from our team can get you 55% off any of our memberships. We have a 1 month, a 1 year, and a one-time or lifetime option within our group. Gold shows clear signs of dropping. It's closed below the 1930 level. Gold is, yeah, look at this. Gold is just so weak, right? Big breakout underneath the lows, and this is key, I think, for gold bears. This level closing underneath here was strong, and I think that you might get a rally, but you have to be so careful as we retest into this area. My first reaction would be sellers are going to want to take a piece of that, right? So, yeah. Can I have 70%, please? See, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to message one of us and see what you can do. Sometimes we won't do 70%, I can tell you that, but 55% is the best and biggest discount we've ever done. So don't miss it before it goes back up. Yeah, so there's several more charts that I want to look at. I want to get in some yen pairs. I want to take a look at some NASDAQ. But to help me out with that, I will be bringing in Miko and Marco in just a moment. But before we do bring them in, let's just run a quick commercial break to thank our sponsors here on the show. And they'll be joined by Miko and Marco for some commentary on more currency pairs, gold, indices, etc., all the things we love. We'll be right back with them after this.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're interested in getting free access to the EDGEFINDER or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partner broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, we are back, joined by the good old trio. What's up, Nico and Marco? Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, so welcome back to the show, guys. You guys are regulars at this point, and if you guys have not checked out Nico and Marco before, I think you'll enjoy this segment of the show. We're going to be going into more of a technical breakdown. These guys are predominantly technical traders, which I think is great to have on the show. We sometimes dive deep into the roots of fundamental side on this show, but with these guys, we're able to kind of reel it back and talk charts and technicals a little bit more. So Miko and Marco, if you guys, maybe we'll just take turns here. Marco, if you want to share your screen, I'd love to just give you guys a chance to share a little bit about your watch list, whatever you're watching here today. Then we could dive into some charts together.
Yep, sure. So can you see the screen?
Yes.
So on AJ, I'm actually looking for an entry right now. So if this candle closes blue, I will be doing a market order execution. So we have 13 more minutes left. It's not looking good right now. So if it closes red, I won't be taking the trade. But if it's blue, I will. Basically, what I'm seeing on this one is I'm seeing this large push, consecutive blue candles, strong momentum, and on the top, not much of a wick. Usually, if there's like a huge wick, that's a major concern for me. But with this being a small wick, it's not that much of a concern. So most of the Japanese pairs are looking good, I would say. On this one, I'm looking for an entry. On EJ, I'm seeing what will happen currently. This is a live candle and it's printing that large wick, which I don't really like to see. But if we continue with momentum, I will be looking to buy. And New Zealand, Japanese yen, again, trending up and we have some momentum on it. So definitely looking to buy. But right now we're stuck in this pullback and I'm seeing bearish pressure. So not something I want to see if I'm looking to buy. I'm waiting for the break of the high, possibly more momentum, and then I would be looking to buy. So yeah, for the Japanese pairs, I'm definitely interested. For the dollar pairs, EU just broke out of this range, so not good enough for me just yet. AU stuck in this range as well. I needed to break this high or this low. And the pound, same thing as the Aussie and US dollar, stuck between the low and the high on the 1 hour chart. So dollar pairs are still asleep for me, but the Japanese ones are looking very, very nice.
Fair enough. So you're watching AJ a lot. You're looking at NZDJPY. Very cool. I'll come back to you with some more stuff on that. Let's go to Miko. Miko, what are you watching here today? Yen pairs, dollar pairs. What's got your eye? Anything?
Well, actually, not much to be fair has got my eye. I'm currently in a trade on dollar Swiss short, which is a trade that I was talking to you guys about last week. It didn't only set up till now. But yeah, I'm currently short on dollar Swiss. I'm looking to see if we can get that trend going. Last week we were talking about on the higher time frames that we still have this bearish trend. So I'm still looking to see if we can come back down into these lows over here, close to 0.88. And yeah, luckily for me, I got a nice entry on the retest of this area here. So I'm hoping to see if we can get back down to the lows. I've got a few places. In fact, price is actually almost coming into my area where I'm supposed to go break even. So I'll probably do that after the stream. Yeah, dollar Swiss looking good. Gold, I'm also going to see what happens with gold because we've had a big consolidation for gold for a while now. And it looks like we're starting to break to the downside. So I could be looking for shorts. I'm not quite convinced with the breakout just yet. I want to see a little bit more distance to the downside before I'm convinced with the sells, because we've just about pinched the 1940 support, and you know, it's not too far away. We could close back inside, and we could be looking at possibly a fake out here. So I want price to push away a little bit more, see a bit more downside momentum, sort of what we had up here when price broke that support. It was a really nice big candle. We saw price really push away. So I'm kind of looking at for gold, and then I'll be looking for continuation south as well, and then possibly some buys later on. But I'm not quite convinced with the breakout yet for gold. Other than that, yen pairs look good as well, seeing a lot of bullish momentum. So I'm keen to get into buys for that one, for a lot of them, pound yen, euro yen, Swiss yen as well. But I want to see some bigger pullbacks, which I feel like won't come until next week. So got to stay patient for that. But yeah, those are mainly the pairs I'm looking at.
Fair enough.
To the end of the week.
Yeah, and I want to come back to you, Miko, on that dollar Swiss concept that you talked about. So you mentioned trailing a stop to break even. Walk us through, like, okay, you have a trade. Obviously, that dollar slip here this morning was a good thing for your trade. How do you manage a trade that starts moving in your favor? I know you mentioned trailing stops. Do you, or not trailing stops, but moving a stop to break even? How do you manage a trade? Do you take partials? Do you move stops? How do you approach it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have a pretty mechanical system, and I have multiple. Well, normally I have 2 or 3 take profits. If my risk was a little bit bigger, sometimes I have 3, but most of the time it's 2. In this case, I do have 3. So I basically look at swing lows of the market to manage my trade. So this is one I'm looking at. This is also another place I'm looking to take profit, and then finally the main support down here as well. So I'm looking to take partials at these 2 levels, and I'll close the remaining down here. So I look to take around 20% there, 20% there, and then 60% there. And then when price hits my first TP, I move my stop loss to break even. And once that is done, I don't trail my stop loss. So potentially there'll be a case of scenario where price is trading down here, then it comes back and takes me out of break even. Again, with the way I trade, and I have quite big stop losses relative to my entries. Sometimes when I trail my stop losses, doesn't play out so well. So I like keeping my stop loss far away from price to have that room to get to my profit. But I basically don't do anything until it gets to one of those areas. So if it hits my TP, I'll take partials, hit my stop loss, I exit the trade. But yeah, that's more or less how I manage my trade.
Yep. Very nice. Yeah, no, and thank you for that clarification. I think, a lot of people, when I bring them on the show, we do, of course, talk entries a lot, but I'm always personally more interested in asking people about their exit strategies because, in terms of technical analysis, I think that in a lot of ways we have our various styles, but we generally look for very similar things. We look for trending markets or key breaks of structure. If it's going to be a reversal that's turning into a new trend, that sort of stuff is very talked about. But I think that where a lot of newer traders struggle is the exit plan, right? Are you going to take partials? Are you going to trail a stop? Are you going to, set and forget? There are so many different philosophies around exits, that it is pretty key. Now, Marco, I know I've asked you to do it before, but for maybe people, we've got 470 people in the audience. I'm sure there's people who are newer to you guys today. Give us a breakdown on how you would, obviously enter a trade, but focus heavily for us, if you would, just on how you would exit a trade, because I think it's such an important conversation.
Sure. So I did have an AU trade a while ago, which would be a good example. Let me just find it. Okay, so right here. So what I saw with this one, just a quick recap, was I was seeing again that momentum, and then I was looking for a flag formation, which we got right here. So first high, first low, second high, second low, and then I do a market execution after the close of this candle, 12 pip stop loss, so fixed stop loss, and I don't use a take profit. So basically now my stop loss is 12 pips, and I wait for the break of the high. So here we did break the high, and then I move my stop loss underneath, you could say the swing low. So at this point, my stop loss would be right here. So it would be reduced risk. And then I wait for the price to create another swing low. So price keeps going up. Okay, now it's pulled back a bit, breaks the high again. So I move my stop loss right here underneath this swing low, basically. So let's pretend this line is the stop loss. So it's now here, a bit more. And then I just wait. Price breaks the high again. So creates a pullback, breaks the high again. And I again move the stop loss a bit more into profit. And I think this candle actually did tag me out. Yeah. So right here, I was out for around, I think it was 2.7% win. So that's how I do it. I just never use a take profit. I just use a trailing stop loss. Kind of works for me because my win rate is low, but my risk to reward, average risk to reward, is very high. So I'm looking for those home runs. I'm looking for the 8R, 10R, 12R, and more. That's where I make the money. So these 2R, 3R trades are not really making me any money. They're just kind of keeping me around break even. But in, let's say, 20% of the cases, there will be a flying trade, which will go 8, 10, 15R. So that's my goal, to catch those.
Yeah, no, and I think, when it comes to exit strategies, what's interesting is, obviously people will debate everything. They'll debate your entries, they'll debate, which strategies you're using or whatnot. But at the end of the day, do what works for you. But also what's important too is that, there are ways to trade both styles, well, I think, like where you are more quick to take money off of the table and get it out of the market. I think there's reasonable ways to do that. And then there's ways to also, Marco, like yourself and I, where we tend to be more on the trailing stops. There are criticisms abound for that as well, where, of course, with trailing stops, the frustration is that there are so many times where I have a beautiful entry that shoots in my direction. I get that stop loss just into slightly profit, and the market just shoots back, and then I'm out for a very, very small profit, and almost just like perfect precision every time the comments flood with "Nick, you idiot, you should have taken profit." But the thing is, you can never, if you look at it that way, shoulda, coulda, woulda, you'll never be profitable in trading, because it doesn't matter which style you implement. You're going to feel dumb sometimes when the market does something crazy. If you're taking partials, which I think is probably a healthy in between, like Miko, you mentioned, placing a TP1, 2, and 3, you're letting a trade run, but you're also removing some money from the markets. That's probably the most, I think, uniformly, I guess, moderate approach to having a little bit of the best of both worlds. And then, of course, there's the other extreme that we haven't really talked about, which is 1-to-1 trades, 1 to 1.5, 1 to possibly even 2 trades, where people are just taking their full trade, either getting stopped out full amount or take it for a profit full amount. But again, ways to do everything right. I think there's a lot more ways to do everything wrong. People put too much size on trades. There's way more things you can mess up than an exit style. Whatever you choose, there's pros. Whatever you choose, there's cons. And it's all about kind of accepting the good and the bad and just kind of sticking to a strategy. I don't know, Miko, what do you think? I mean, I know traders, everybody wants the Holy Grail system. What would you say to somebody who says to your strategy, they're like, Miko, partials, you're by the time it even hits your full thing, you're out of most of the trade. You don't even really capitalize. Pros and cons of a strategy. What would you say to that kind of concept?
Well, I would say I agree with what you said. I mean, when you look at it, there's so many ways to do the exact same thing. We're all here to make steady profits from the market. And if you choose this path, you're going to experience the advantages and disadvantages of that path. And if you choose that path, you can experience the advantages and disadvantages of that path as well. So the best thing to do is just accept, the benefits and the disadvantage of that path and just keep doing it as much as possible. If you're seeing success in it, then it doesn't really matter what anyone says. There's many trades where I take partials, I'm seeing small profits and then my account's kind of doing sideways, and then you get a few winners in your row and then it pushes you in direction. I mean, I like taking partials because it kind of minimizes my drawdown. I experience very well in perspective, minimal drawdown because I take a lot of partials. So my account balances, my equity curve is like very minimal. Then I have a winning streak. My losing streak is very small compared to my winning streak, even though they're very similar amount of trades. Like I could, win 4-5 in a row, also lose 4-5 in a row, but it's very minimal compared because of the partials add up. So yeah, just keep doing what works. If it doesn't work, experiment. But I think you just need to persevere really, because with enough practice, everything kind of does work really, which is kind of what I found.
Yep. I mean, it's a lot. Half of it is, I think, just your position sizing and people focus so heavily. And I want to come to you, Marco, on this too, because I know we've talked a little bit about this. People focus so much on the entries. I mean, I'm sure you guys on your channels, on your interactions with people, everybody wants that sniper entry. They want that perfect no drawdown entry all the time. And I mean, we've all been doing this long enough to know that it's very, very hard to get entries right all the time. And, you don't necessarily need to be perfect all the time to still make money. Like Miko said, there's many ways to do this, I think, and still be profitable. Marco, what do you think on all that?
So there is no holy grail. That's the first one. If there was a holy grail, trading would be very easy, and trading is extremely hard, and only like 3 or 5% of people actually make money in trading. So you have to deal with the ups and the downs of your strategy. For example, I have had trades running 10-15% that went all the way back and stopped me out for a loss because I used that fixed trailing stop loss rule. So could you handle a trade going 10% in profit and then stopping you out? So that's what makes or breaks a trader. I would say if you can't deal with that, if you can't deal with the variance or the probabilities, well, then just maybe trading is not for you. And trading is much harder than it's depicted on social media, especially on Instagram with the fake traders and stuff. So a lot of people get dragged into this thinking that it's going to be an easy road, sniper entries, and it's just not. It doesn't exist, basically.
Yep. And that's why I have both of you guys on the show so regularly. I mean, the thing is, I think there is a fair expression that real recognizes real. Like when you see people who are fake, you guys know them, I know them, they stick out like sore thumbs. And to the new people, they're not able to spot that. When you've been doing this for a while, you're like, oh, that's fake, or like, oh, that car is not from trading. It's like it's very apparent. But to new people, they get trapped by that. And all we can do, I think, is we don't show up at the top of Google searches because we're not out there just flashing cars. All we can kind of do in our area is, for a love of trading, genuinely share that with other people who are serious for this stuff on our own channels, and just keep fight the good fight. Guys, I want to thank you for coming on, and also mentioning channels. You guys should absolutely add to your subscriptions here on YouTube. Both of these fine gentlemen, Miko and Marco, both have YouTube channels. We're going to drop them in the chat for you to go find them, follow them, keep up with them. Again, real traders on this show only. We do not entertain the nonsense. We only bring guys and girls on that are serious about this stuff. So please take a moment, go follow these guys on their socials. Marco, Miko, thank you guys for both coming on today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
All right. Always good having those guys on. Again, I genuinely mean that. When I bring on people on the show, sometimes people are confused by it. They think, you know, Nick, why are you just giving shout outs to people? These guys who come on the show, they're not paying us. They're not, we ask them to be guests and they are happy to come on. Obviously, it does help them out in terms of exposure. And I'll do the same thing on other channels. It's a classic collaboration on YouTube. But I genuinely, I like to interact with traders who I can sense are real. And Miko, Marco, I mean, we had Alex and Chris Pulver yesterday. All of these guys and girls that come on the show are people that I think are reputable traders. They're not showing off the lifestyle, none of that. We're real traders here and real trading alone. So if you guys are newer to my channel as well, make sure to subscribe if you're on Trader Nick. And if you're on A1 Trading, subscribe to A1 Trading as well. We are streaming to 2 streams right now. And before I go, remember guys, we are sharing all of our trades inside of our Discord channel, and everything in our Discord memberships group for right now only is 55% off. If you'd like to join the community, get access to the coaching webinars, interact and work with myself, Frank, and the rest of our community, as well as Ivan, who is a regular in there as well. He's a trading coach within our community. If you guys would like to join us inside of the Discord, click this link right here, 55% off if you message us today only. So again, you get that discount if you message into our support center. I'll show you what that looks like real quick. You just click that link. It opens up a direct message center. You just click chat now. Click 50% off VIP signals and soon. Put your name, email, and then you will be connected not through email, but direct message right away with a real person on my staff here in the office. So thank you guys for tuning into the show. I hope you got some value out of this, and we will see you back next time. Catch you later. What's up?
Dude, what happened to you?
Haven't you heard? It's the summer half off discount sale.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Right now only, get half off any of our VIP Discord memberships. These memberships include access to our signals, where you can get entries and exits from Frank and I, and full breakdown and analysis with each trade. You can learn our strategies in detail. You can learn how to get funded with our training material to help traders looking for funding. And you can also join the chat room community. We have several membership opportunities, so click the link and check them out for yourself. And remember, you get half off if you either message us or use the discount code you see on the screen now.